Travis Kelce has finally responded after wedding photos were leaked to TMZ, and it all points back to someone on the guest list. But the leak itself wasn't the biggest surprise. It was how quickly the source was uncovered. Let me break it down. Before any of this happened, Kelce and Swift had already built what amounted to a security operation around their own wedding. This wasn't paranoia for the sake of it. The reports also claimed that the wedding would bring together more than 1,000 guests, making confidentiality a major concern. With that many people walking through the door, the couple knew exactly how fast a single photo could spread once it left the building. So they got specific, really specific. According to a report from TMZ, the couple's wedding invitations were individually marked with each guest's first and last name repeated throughout the design, allowing Swift and Kelce to trace a leaked photo of an invitation back to the specific attendee who shared it. Every single card was its own fingerprint. If it turned up online, they'd know exactly whose hand it passed through. The invite itself looked harmless enough, almost like a piece of art. The invitation featured a forest-inspired design with a painted landscape of trees, a stream, and an orange sky. Reading "You're Invited," July 3rd, 2026, Manhattan. Love, Taylor and Travis. And describing the celebration as one night only, taking place in the early evening with a black tie dress code. And woven through that peaceful little forest scene was a second invitation. Nobody could see just by looking at it. The watermark, page 6, reported that each invitation included the guest's name as a watermark, along with the couple's custom double T monogram. That wasn't the only layer of protection either. According to TMZ, the invitations did not reveal the exact venue location, and instead listed only New York. Guests didn't even know they were walking into Madison Square Garden until they got close enough to see it for themselves, and the security didn't stop at paper. Once people actually arrived, it got a lot strict. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding wasn't just a phone-free affair. Security went a step further, scanning guests for MetaSmart glasses and other hidden cameras, with security personnel walking throughout the venue carrying scanners, checking for hidden recording devices that could secretly capture photos or video from inside. Even the police working the event weren't exempt. The strict no-phone policy extended to NYPD officers working inside the wedding, who were told to leave their devices behind or skip the assignment altogether. So this was not a wedding where you could just casually snap a picture in the bathroom. This was a wedding built like a vault, which makes what happened next even more interesting. Because for all that planning, the leak didn't come from a hidden camera or a smuggled phone. It came from someone who'd already left the building holding a piece of paper. 3 days after the ceremony, the internet got its first real glimpse behind the curtain. A parent wedding guest, Ashish Ferguson, shared a photo of the couple's top-secret wedding invitations to Instagram, and though he deleted the post soon after, screenshots had already started circulating on social media. The image showed exactly what Kelce and Swift had spent months trying to keep locked down. Ferguson wasn't some random name in the crowd either. He had a direct line into Kelce's world. He's the brother of Kelce's ex-personal chef and childhood friend, Kumar Ferguson. That's not a distant acquaintance. That's family-adjacent access. Someone who got a seat at the wedding of the decade because of a relationship built over years, not because he bought a ticket. And the watermark did exactly what it was designed to do. TMZ reported that the invitation includes a watermark with each guest's name, thus pinpointing Ferguson as the source of the leak. There was no ambiguity. No. Well, it could have been anyone. His own name was baked directly into the picture he posted. Each invitation was reportedly watermarked with the guest's name and featured the couple's double T monogram, with the text appearing over a painting of a forest and stream beneath an orange sky. Here's the part that made it sting a little more. There wasn't a fine waiting for him. TMZ noted that while there was an NDA attached to the invitation, there was no financial penalty, meaning the couple was likely banking on public shaming to get guests to keep the details to themselves. In other words, Kelce and Swift weren't going to sue anybody. They were counting on something else entirely: the fear of being cut out. Once that invitation photo hit screens everywhere, the wedding stopped being just a story about flowers and vows. It became a story about trust, who had it and who was about to lose it. Word started getting around that Kelce and Swift weren't just letting this slide. According to Entertainment Insider reporting, the couple had people actively keeping tabs on what was being said. Hollywood insider Rob Shooter reported that Swift and Kelce are having to keep a close eye on guests who are not respecting the strict NDA they sent out ahead of the ceremony. This wasn't some vague rumor floating around. It came with specifics. Sources told Shooter that the couple and their respective teams are carefully monitoring media reports, social media posts, and online chatter to identify any guests who violate the event's non-disclosure agreement. Think about the scale of that for a second. Over 1,000 guests, and a team somewhere combing through every post, every story, every mention. They're reading everything, one source said. They're watching Instagram, TikTok, X, and every news story that appears. They know exactly who is talking and who isn't. And this is where Kelce himself entered the picture. Not with a statement, not with an angry post, but with something a lot quieter and honestly more revealing: his thumb. Kelce started liking posts, not all of them, very specific ones. He liked Brittany Mahomes' outfit photos with Patrick. He liked a post from former Chiefs tight end Blake Bell. He liked one from his childhood friend Eric Jones. Kelce has been liking several posts from wedding guests on social media. Brittany Mahomes' post, Blake Bell's, that of his childhood friend Eric Jones, and several others. Notice what those posts had in common. They were outfit shots, skyline pictures, what a night captions, nothing from inside the venue, nothing that showed the decor, the vows, the raffle, the cake. Just guests celebrating that they'd been there, without showing what there actually looked like. Blake Bell's post was a good example. Just him and his wife, Lindsay, in matching black outfits, captioned with an exclamation point about what a time it was. Eric Jones posted himself in a tuxedo near a bar. Another photo with former NFL player Ross Travis in the mix, captioned simply about more rings. Fox Sports host Charissa Thompson and her boyfriend posted a skyline shot, riffing off one of Swift's own lyrics for the caption. None of it broke the rules. All of it got the Kelce stamp of approval. That's the tell. Posting a photo of your outfit doesn't violate the NDA. And Kelce was happy to prove that with his likes. But the fact that he was even paying that much attention told you everything. His social media activity proved the point that he, and likely a team behind him, was paying attention. So picture the guest list now. Over 1,000 names, split into two invisible categories. One side, people posting safe content, getting the algorithmic thumbs up from the groom himself. The other side, people who'd shared too much, sitting there wondering if they just torched a friendship that took years to build. Because here's what was actually at stake for the people who crossed that line. And it wasn't a lawsuit. Sharing too much might mean you're never invited back to anything related to Swift. And most people would like to keep that access. One insider put it plainly. Nobody expects Taylor to start filing lawsuits, one insider said. That's not the point. The point is knowing who can be trusted. Another source added, if you leak details from Taylor's wedding, don't expect another invitation. Read that again. Not a legal threat, a social one. In Kelce and Swift's world, a world stacked with A-list friendships, NFL locker rooms, and a fan base that notices everything, being quietly erased from the guest list of the future is its own kind of consequence. Maybe a bigger one than money. And Ferguson wasn't the only name floating around in this conversation. Other guests had shared glimpses too. A handkerchief here, a raffle ticket there, but there was a clear line between cute detail and here's the actual invitation with my name burned into it. Ferguson had crossed that line in the most traceable way possible, and everyone watching knew it. While the fallout over the invitation was playing out online, more cracks were forming, because Ferguson's leak wasn't actually the first hole in the wall. It was just the most obviously traceable one. Days before his post ever surfaced, TMZ and the Daily Mail had already gotten their hands on details from inside the event itself. The event had a strict no cell phone policy, with guests forced to check their mobile devices at the door to ensure maximum privacy. But that didn't stop details about the event and even a few photos from leaking through the media the following day. One clip that circulated showed more than anyone expected. The Daily Mail published a story with a video taken from inside the venue, showing several A-list celebrities filing inside. A dimly lit hallway with a large TT logo that featured never-before-seen photos from Kelce and Swift's relationship. That hallway of photos wasn't just decor. It was a private timeline of the couple's relationship, never meant for public eyes, and suddenly it was everywhere. Then there was Adam Aron, the CEO of AMC Theaters, who apparently didn't get the no-phone memo applied to his mouth. He posted extensively about the wedding before quickly deleting it. Aaron described the vows as long, entertaining, personal, charming, emotional, irreverent, and endearing, adding this is no small love, each at the absolute pinnacle of their worlds. Each so obviously head over heels about having found their soulmate. The post vanished almost as fast as it appeared, Everything Aaron posted about the Kelce Swift wedding was quickly deleted. And while it's not known if he was forced to do so, one would assume he was certainly in violation of the detailed non-disclosure agreements guests had to sign. So now there's a pattern forming. It's not just one leaker. It's a wedding where the guest list itself became the biggest security risk, no matter how many watermarks or scanners were involved. Other guests chipped in their own pieces of the puzzle too. Kansas City player Drew Tranquill's wife shared a photo of a raffle prize, a black Chanel bag with a winning ticket stamped with the couple's monogram. Country singer Maren Morris posted a glimpse of a custom wedding handkerchief, embroidered with the same TT design and a lyric from one of Swift's songs. None of these felt as damaging as Ferguson's invitation leak, but together, they built a mosaic of the night that Kelce and Swift had explicitly tried to prevent. Even the celebrities who attended other people's weddings afterward couldn't dodge the scrutiny. A week after their own ceremony, Kelce and Swift showed up at former Chiefs teammate Juju Smith-Schuster's wedding, their first public appearance as a married couple. They attended the wedding in photos obtained by TMZ, with Swift wearing a strapless floor-length gown with floral brocade designs. Even there, sitting next to Patrick and Brittany Mahomes, cameras found them. By this point, the pattern was undeniable. No matter how tightly Kelce and Swift tried to control the room, someone always found a way to let a piece of it out. The difference with Ferguson was that his leak had his own name written into the pixels. There was no plausible deniability. No, it could have been anyone, just a watermark doing exactly the job it was designed to do, turning a leaked photo into a name, and a name into a very public reckoning of trust. Here's where the story gets more personal. Because Ashish Ferguson wasn't just some acquaintance who scored a lucky invite. He was tied to one of the people who'd been closest to Kelce for years, his brother, Kumar Ferguson, Kelce's longtime personal chef. Their friendship went back long before any of the fame. Their friendship later turned into a professional partnership in 2016, when Ferguson had been working as a truck driver for 6 years, and Kelce called him with an offer. Kumar recalled the moment Kelce brought him into his world professionally. Kelce told him, "Hey man, I want to take my diet seriously. You want to come out to KC and help me out with that? Whatever you want to do, I'll help you," and we just kind of support each other. 4 days later, Ferguson flew to Kansas City and began cooking for his longtime friend. That's not a stranger getting hired off a resume. That's someone Kelce trusted enough to hand control of his nutrition, his fuel, his body, the literal engine behind his football career. Ferguson has said he focuses on giving Kelce the right combination of fuel, comfort, hydration, and nutrition throughout the NFL season. Kelce himself had publicly credited him. Shout out to Ku Eats Fresh. My man, private chef Kumar Ferguson. He told Yahoo Sports in 2023, "Whatever he's feeding me is keeping me young." So when Kumar's own brother turned out to be the guest, whose name was watermarked onto the leaked invite, it wasn't just an embarrassing headline for a random +1. It put one of Kelce's actual inner circle relationships on the line. Kumar had built an entire career around proximity and trust with Kelce, expanding from cooking just for him to working with other Chiefs players, eventually building a business connecting athletes with private chefs. And now his own brother's Instagram story had become the single most traceable leak from the wedding of the year. Ashish didn't stick around defending the post either. He pulled it down almost immediately once it started spreading. Ashish has since deleted his post of the wedding invite, but not before screenshots started circulating on social media. That's not the move of someone who thought he'd gotten away clean. That's someone realizing in real time exactly what he'd just done. And it wasn't like Ferguson didn't already know the stakes going in. He'd been photographed at the wedding with his own mother, clearly proud to be there, clearly aware of how big a deal the whole event was. Ferguson shared a pic of himself attending the wedding with his mother. This wasn't some outsider trying to make a quick buck off tabloid access. This was someone inside the family's orbit who, for whatever reason, decided a few minutes of Instagram attention was worth the risk. The bigger question hanging over all of this was what it meant for Kumar. Would Kelce's trust in his chef, built over nearly a decade, tied to his literal physical performance on the field, take a hit because of something his brother did? There's no public statement from Kelce specifically addressing Kumar or Ashish by name. But given how closely Kelce's team was reportedly monitoring every post and every mention, it's hard to imagine this one slipped past unnoticed. This wasn't some anonymous +1 from Swift's side of the aisle. This was blood family to someone in Kelce's daily life. That's the tension sitting underneath this whole story. It's not just guest breaks NDA gets publicly shamed, it's the leak came from inside the house. In the most literal sense possible, a leak traced directly back to a relationship Kelce had nurtured, since long before he was famous enough to need a security detail for his own wedding. So where does all of this leave things? Kelce and Swift built a system specifically designed to do one thing. If something leaked, they'd know exactly who did it, and it worked exactly as intended. The wedding itself had already become one of the most heavily guarded events in recent memory, a phone-free affair with security scanning for smart glasses and hidden cameras, extending the no-phone policy well beyond confiscating visible devices, with personnel walking through the venue, checking for anything that could secretly capture footage from inside. Add to that the watermarked invites, the NDAs, the disguised location on the invitations themselves. This was about as close to airtight as a celebrity wedding could realistically get, with a guest list over 1,000 names deep. And yet, it still leaked, not through a hacked camera or a smuggled phone, through a piece of paper, photographed, and posted by someone who had every reason to know better. That's the thing about trust-based systems. They only hold as long as everyone inside them chooses to respect the boundary. One person didn't, and it took minutes for the screenshots to spread, wider than any single Instagram story ever could. What happened after tells you what kind of consequences actually exist in this world. Not lawsuits, not fines. There was no financial penalty attached to the NDA, meaning the couple was likely banking on public shaming to keep guests quiet. Instead, it came down to something quieter and in some ways more permanent: access. If you leak details from Taylor's wedding, don't expect another invitation. One source put it. That's the real confrontation here. It didn't play out as a shouting match or a public call-out post. It played out in algorithms, in who got a like from Kelce's account, and who got silence, and who kept getting invited to the golf outings, the Super Bowl parties, the next round of Chiefs teammates' weddings, and who quietly stopped showing up in those photo dumps altogether. Jason Kelce, Travis's brother and best man at the wedding, kept his own comments brief. When asked about the night, calling it simply a good time, later adding it was great, without giving up much else. That restraint from someone who was actually in the room says something too. The people closest to Kelce learned, by example, exactly how much or how little to say. Meanwhile, Ferguson's name is now permanently tied to this story, not through a headline calling him out directly, but through the simple traceable fact that his own watermark did what it was built to do. His brother's decade-long relationship with Kelce, built on trust and loyalty, long before the fame arrived, now sits under a shadow that wasn't there before. In the end, the wedding of the year didn't just give the world flowers, vows, and a Madison Square Garden transformed into a forest. It gave Kelce a very real, very modern way of finding out exactly who could be trusted with his life and who couldn't. No lawyers needed, no statements required, just a watermark, a screenshot, and a very quiet decision about who gets liked and who gets left on read. Sources: TMZ, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding invite finally revealed by guest. Newser, Swift-Kelce wedding invites leak and are very traceable. The Mary Sue, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding invitations were allegedly watermarked, with guests' names to stop leaks. Stylecaster Travis Kelce responds to Taylor Swift wedding guests leaking photos. TMZ, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding guests scanned for meta glasses, hidden cameras. Sigh. Photos from Travis Kelce Taylor Swift Madison Square Garden wedding. Fox News, Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce make their first public appearance since their wedding. Heavy.com, who is Kumar Ferguson? Travis Kelce's childhood friend linked to wedding invite leak. Pedestrian.tv, one of Taylor Swift's wedding guests just posted and quickly deleted the top secret invite. AOL, Travis Kelce is busy liking these Taylor Swift wedding guest photos. Heavy.com, Jason Kelce breaks silence on Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift's wedding. https://heavy.com's sports NFL, Kansas City Chiefs, Jason Kelce, Taylor, Travis